Hello, everybody. This is the Hawk again. As you can see, I've had this hat for many, many years. It's traveled all the way around the world with me. I had this made for me in Iraq in a camp called Al Assad back in 2011. Anyway, the most important hat we need now for the next couple of years is this hat. Don't forget, this is the man that's going to save the world. Don't believe the rubbish of the Democrats. Right, that's not what my story is about tonight. Prince Harry is out there again trying to fix the PR for his wife, Meghan Markle. Now, some of you don't know this, but Meghan Markle dated a bunch of famous men. And the brouhaha we find out today is because one of the men is a famous porn star. And they're trying to cover it up. Ironically, the same PR company is the ones that was Jeffrey Epstein and the other guy, the film actress, the film producer. It was the same PR company. So they went to Africa and suddenly she became a woman of color. And they had a very successful tour of South Africa while about 6,000 people were murdered and about 450 women were raped. Today, a young girl, 17 years old, young, in Mossel Bay, Michelle Boyson, walking home with her boyfriend, gets attacked. And unconfirmed reports say it was a machete. And she was hit over the head. Guess what they took? Her black Nike shoes. She lost her life for black Nike shoes. Barely seen anything in her life. She died in the street, bleeding to death with a wound in her head. For black Nike shoes. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were in South Africa. They could have said something that would have stopped all this bloodshed. They said nothing. They were only worried about the PR, the cover up, the story. And now they're freaking out all over the place, trying to sue everybody because some of her phone records have been discovered. Well, sweetheart, if it's public knowledge, it's public knowledge. That's the law. You can't hide the fact that you were dating a porn star. Football players, basketball players, actors, all these famous people. And you say you didn't even know who Harry was? I doubt that very much. You have a massive PR problem. And you ain't going to fix it now. Because the story's out. Harry, son, you have a big problem. This was a mistake from the beginning, and it will be your downfall. Another disturbing thing that happened today. It has come to light that the apartheid government, the national government that was in power before 1994, opened clinics in black areas and other nations around South Africa and was inoculating black people with AIDS. At the time, there was no cure for AIDS. They were deliberately inoculating these people with the AIDS virus. This same insidious government had a third force at that time, which was revealed by a captain in the police force. It was going around killing IFP members and Kata Freedom Party members and ANC members and blaming it on each other to keep the conflict going. I'm truly sorry to all these people in my country, the country of my birth. To all the black people in South Africa, I'm truly sorry. None of us knew. 99.9% of the people did not know what they were doing. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that we were sucked into and stupid enough to believe the bullshit rhetoric that they gave us. These people need to come to justice. They need to be found, and if they're still alive, they need to be prosecuted with all the force of the law. The world needs to know what's going on in South Africa. There is a slow genocide of the whites now. It's not a lie, it's not crime. There's a document that stated in 1993, it was drafted by the ANC, where they would deliberately boil the white people like frogs in hot water because they don't know they're dying. This document is out there. Anybody can look it up on the internet. Just put ANC document, boiling the frog. It's listed in detail, and every single part of that has come true. Even down to now, taking the pensions from people who have worked their entire lives. Some people have lost half their pensions in the last month. I can understand the hatred between the whites and the blacks right now, but does it solve anything? I saw a terrible text today where a black man stated, I know how to solve the problem. Just kill the old man and rape the old woman while she watches her husband die. That's in a text message on Facebook. And the ironic part of that is when you post that text to complain, Facebook banishes you for violating community standards. Not the perpetrator of the text or the message. So they shoot the messenger. The Markles came to the Prince Harry and Meghan Markle came to South Africa and wasted 10 days of our lives. Never said a thing. They planted trees, put a little token there. She put a ribbon up for a girl that was raped at the university and then marketed the shirt or the dress that she was wearing. How sick can you be? A man stopped today on the side of the road on the freeway. He had broken down. Just a cheap little truck. They came with a huge boulder like this, and they smashed it through the window in this man and then stabbed him, stole his phone, stole his money, and this is in broad daylight on the freeway. How? If you like the hat, I'm going to make some more. Maybe I'll market them and sell them off to you. The thing what we need to realize today is two wrongs don't make a right. So I'm calling on all the people in South Africa. What solutions do we have? I see a lot of this, but I see no solutions. I see a lot of this. I see no solutions. I see conflict amongst the whites. I see conflicts amongst their languages. I see this xenophobia between different tribes. And it's not just Zimbabweans and Nigerians and Mozambicans. It's against these faction fights. And I've seen that in my entire life from when I was a little boy. Up in a place called Kusunduzwayo, there was a fight between two families over a marijuana pipe. During a wedding ceremony, the pipe was missing, and they found that one of the family members had stolen the pipe. It was traditional. It was like a cow horn that was designed for a marijuana pipe. In Sangu. Anyway, they found out that this pipe had been stolen. That caused a 10-year war between these two families. That hundreds of people died over that. And all it needed was to take the pipe back. But they killed each other for 10 years. This is Africa. Prince Harry came to South Africa and he was more worried about the PR of his wife than the legacy of his mother. And making a pathway for himself. He could have stood up and said something to the international communities that would have made him absolutely famous, because he would have told the truth once and for all in his life and being a man. Not being in the shadow of his brother or his mother or his wife. Always in the news for something wrong, not something right. Always in trouble for smoking marijuana or having parties or punching reporters. So now he marries a girl that has got a sordid history. Divorcee, who dated porn stars, and a few other famous people to get somewhere in life. She was classed as white in Hollywood. When she came to Africa, she was suddenly a woman of color. What are you doing, Harry? What are you doing, Harry? Your mother just rolled over in her grave with shame. Is this suing the tabloids going to help you, son? When you find out the truth, you came to South Africa first of all and said, "Oh, we're just coming there to show off our baby." Then it was we're the Royal Commission. Then you became the Commonwealth. We're just here for the Commonwealth. And suddenly it was the Queen's Commonwealth. So what were you really there for? Try and collect all these little lands around, make sure that the new president of South Africa will go kneel before grandma again a month later. But you don't say anything about what's really going on in South Africa. Why? Is it because Anglo-American, De Beers, and the Ruperts, so Rupert and the Rhodes Group and the Oppenheimers actually own the country? And they influence the British Parliament and they influence the British monarchy because the diamonds, the gold, the platinum, the uranium, the coal, the mineral rights they control, so they control everything. The ANC are just puppets, and the people are just the peasants, and they let them die every day in the streets of running blood. Because who cares? What's wrong? Tell them to eat cake? And guess what? I put a small ribbon there today, and you can buy my shirt. In the next day or so, I'm going to do a show on Andre Hanekom. He was kidnapped in Mozambique. He's a South African citizen, been living there for 31 years. Never done a damn thing wrong in his life. He was kidnapped by the Mozambique government. He was shot first, kidnapped, then arrested, put in jail, taken to a military camp, and a number of other things happened. The South African government's representative said that they went to see him. That's a lie. They never did. He was murdered in jail. They poisoned him. It's a complete cover-up. And now members of the Mozambique government are trying to steal their land, steal their property, threatening his wife, and a number of other things. I will not tolerate it. I will expose them. I will tell the truth. I will show the evidence. I always do. We'll show how the South African government lied. They didn't do their job. They let the man die there. They let them kill him. They said he's a terrorist, multiple terrorist cases. Man didn't do terrorism. He was shipping goods from the sea back and forth, and they wanted his business. So they made up a story. I'll expose that truth. The South African government's in for trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that have been stolen by these same Anglo-American De Beers. There's so much money stolen that it's actually mind-blowing. If you look at my last video, in the text, you will see I put down a lot of what's going on. Here's a video I found. That's proof that the ANC were told in 1994, you either toe the line or we destroy your economy. Why do you think the Rand dollar exchange is always at a level that they can control it? Because it takes $100 to take gold out of the ground. 1 ounce, $100. That's all it takes. And then they sell it for $1,200, $1,500, $2,000 sometimes on the stock market. How convenient to keep a country in a mess all the time. Even the Chinese foreign minister stated the last couple of days, 20 years ago, South Africa was in a better position than China was, infrastructurally was. And now they need to fix their infrastructure because it's a complete mess. He's a little perturbed, he stated, that he was a little worried in investing in South Africa. Now, if China's scared, you know there's a problem. And then my friend, Donald Trump. Believe me, I'm going to support him the whole way. Make America great again. And he has. So, let me put my hat on. So let me tell you something about this. Obama removed the sanctions from Iran. And oil dropped through the floor. Oil went to $25 to the barrel. Our economy tanked overnight. He also gave them something like ridiculous $8 billion of US tax money. Oil tanked. That infrastructure, it's massive, massive infrastructure. Believe me, I work in this field. Devastated thousands and thousands of families. Whole cities, whole towns closed shop in 2 weeks. That it was a ghost town. Completely devastated the entire place. Since Trump's been in power, our stock market has never seen this kind of movement ever. It's booming. Unemployment is less than 5%. Unheard of since the Depression. The Democrats do nothing but try every single day to impeach him. They have tried everything else. They have not come up with any solutions to improve the United States of America, not one bit. They have instituted sanctuary cities where criminals can walk free in the street, rape, murder, and pillage and get away with it because they won't arrest them. They won't allow them to arrest them. Every single Democratic city that's in control or state that's in control of the Democrats is in financial ruin. Maxine Waters lives in $1 million house but doesn't even go to the state that she belongs to, or even cares about the people that are there that are suffering. And the list is endless. The dossier that they came up with to impeach him, to say that he was in collusion with the Russians, was funded and orchestrated by Hillary Clinton and her fundraising non-profit organization. If you look at the donors, they're all Middle Eastern donors, all Muslim extremist countries. Uranium One was approved by Obama to sell uranium of the United States to Ukraine, which the company belongs to Russia, to a Russian company. Talk about collusion. Now Biden's sons just got caught in a corruption, same thing, all part of that Russian connection. The Democrats are the problem. They were spying on a duly elected president. I went to Iraq in 2004. We flew into Baghdad in a spiral, all the baggage falling on us, people screaming. We flew down that runway sideways, wings down like this, so we couldn't get shot. They landed the plane and they were motoring us as we were coming in. I sat there for 8 years. I saw many, many soldiers come and go, and I saw them leave in body bags. And then Obama got elected. And he let them take it back. He spat on all of our soldiers. He disrespected every one of those soldiers that died. I don't care if it was for the right reason or the wrong reason. The Democratic Party was designed by the KKK. I ask every black person in the United States, consider this. How are your ghettos? How are your areas? Are they any better than they were? Einstein said, if you keep voting for the same thing, you'll get the same thing. You'll have the same result. If you do the same thing over and over and over, you get the same result. Now you have crazy Muslims, crazy communists, socialists screaming blue murder. You have a girl in there that shouldn't even be in the country who married her own brother to get legal. Clapper, Comey, all of these guys should be arrested for treason. Mr. President, release the documents. The truth will set you free. Let the chips fall where they may. Does Trump say some crazy stuff? Oh, hell yeah. But when the man says, I'm going to do something, he does. To all the illegals coming into the United States, one step across that border, you have violated U.S. law. Therefore, you are a criminal. Why should we support you? If you don't go through the checkpoints like everybody else, why should we support you? I came to the United States in 1996. I had a green card in my hand. I went through 7 years of hell. And I got my citizenship while I was in Iraq. And I did it legally. I didn't cross no border. I didn't come here illegally. And I didn't ask for a handout. And this is not against Mexicans or anybody else, because there's a lot of people here that shouldn't be here. Everybody that's illegal here needs to realize you should not be here if you're illegal. For the 1,000 illegals that are here, there's 120 people standing in line that's been in line for 5 years waiting for that opportunity to go, I pledge allegiance to the United States of America. Why is it okay for you to just get a free ride? Today, a young girl was murdered in South Africa for her Nike shoes. Meghan Markle, put on your high heel shoes. Go back to that spot too. Put a ribbon. This time wear another dress so you can sell it on the internet. Market yourself. You're a disgrace. You're a disgrace to the British people. You're a disgrace to your race. You're a disgrace to the world. This is the Hawk. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Some of you, please check your subscriptions, because it seems to be some of them are just disappearing. If you like my videos, please subscribe, check the like button, hit the bell, and share this video. Please share this video. The situation in South Africa is not good. The government has introduced land reforms where they're going to take people's farms, because they're lying about the fact that they own 75% of the unused land in South Africa, and they have done for 25 years. They're using racism as an excuse to take over land that has been in the hands of people for over 100 years, maybe sometimes 300 years. The excuse that, oh, you need to be punished. If that is the case, and you need to be punished, then every single black tribe in South Africa needs to go north, because they weren't there until the 1800s. There's not one black tribe in South Africa that has the right to say they own that land. If you take the land, the international communities will not lend you money. You can get donations from these evil countries like Belgium and England, who just want to perpetuate the theft and rape of a country's mineral rights, and to punish the Afrikaans people for the war, the Anglo-Boer War. But the fact is, they're lying to the black people, they're lying to the white people, and they've been lying to us for all this time. I was born there. I grew up there through apartheid. I saw it all. We were sucked blind. We did not know. We only found out afterwards about the middlemen and the crazies and the evil stuff that they did. You have to understand, during that time, there was no internet. There was no TV. There was radio, newspaper, and magazines, and a strict control of it. Today, the internet gives you no secrets. Nobody has a secret. They will find out. Believe me, everybody finds out in the end. There's very little secrets in the world. In 1994, anybody born from 1994 till now has no guilt on it. So don't blame white people. Us, people before that, yes, we're guilty of not knowing, not asking questions. We're guilty of not figuring it out. But given the time, in hindsight, we never had the communications we have today. You can see something in 1 minute, take a picture, and in 1 second, the world knows. That's the technology we have today. Back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, there were block cell phones about this big. You had to hold it up with 2 hands. It was so big. I'm tired of hearing the pointing fingers. I'm tired of calling out this mess all the time. I want to hear solutions. Solutions. A solution isn't fixing toilets at schools and building long drops with a door on and a flush thing. That's not fixing a problem. Fixing a problem is coming up with 5-year plans to build new roads, new schools, new clinics, new hospitals, training doctors and lawyers and nurses and teachers, and punishing criminals and putting crooked politicians in jail and taking whatever they stole and putting it back where it came from and arresting crooked police and hanging murderers and castrating rapists. These are solutions. And then you ask the world, can you come and invest here? But remember, when you invest, you're investing in the people as well, not yourself, just yourself. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Share it with your friends. Share it with 30,000 people, 40,000, and let them share it with another 40,000. But the world needs to know what's going on in South Africa. We replaced apartheid. We're not putting it back. And I need your support to stop it. And I need your support to stop the killings and the rapes and the discrimination and the racism that this government's put in place. It needs to be stopped. And it needs to be stopped today. This is the Hawk. I'm out of here. Take care. And South Africans, stop killing your people. Stop killing your brothers and sisters. Stop raping your sisters, daughters, and grandmothers. You should be ashamed.